Welcome to Living the Dream Iowa Life. I'm your host, Hannah Nuss, and each weekday we'll share enthusiasm for what's possible and dive into the stories of Iowans living their dream lives right here in the heartland. Whether you're chasing a big goal or just looking for a little inspiration, we've got you covered. Let's change the world together. This is Living the Dream Iowa Life. Let's go. Heyo, welcome to Living the Dream Iowa Life podcast. It's so amazing. I'm your host, Hannah Nuss, and life-changing things. Life-changing. I know that we are starting each episode with a question, and so today I want you to reflect on what was a life-changing experience for you. What had a direct line in the sand built from then forever on in your life? What were those moments? And mine would include getting engaged, getting married, in first grade being told that I had to be really good at math to be a doctor and assuming that I must not be. Let's see. Getting told that I was really tall, so I should play basketball. Getting told that volleyball was my thing, or I had the body for volleyball, so I should play volleyball. And that was in 8th grade. Getting told that I wasn't very good at graphic design, but I was really good at connecting with people and marketing the products. Going to the Rise conference, having both of my daughters. What else? Writing my first book. Quitting my corporate job to pursue entrepreneurship. Let's see. Opening my first brick and mortar business. Launching a publishing company. And publishing my first book that was not my own as a publisher. And I don't know. The vehicle ride to my husband's hometown when I told him that I was going to start a life-changing empire and write books. I remember that moment. Also with my husband, the moment that he told me it was silly that I wouldn't apply for a head coaching position because I knew how to do it, and if I was under someone else, I certainly wouldn't like it, so I might as well just do it. And him thinking that it was hilarious that I didn't think that I could be a head coach. That was a line in the sand moment. You might be right, good sir. I should just believe in myself and my ability. With a question mark. And then when I went to the Rise conference, that would have been in 2019. Starting my first podcast was definitely a line in the sand moment. We're not going back from here. The accident actually this past year at the end of 2024, making it on the other side of that, having my community rally around me, having people kind of pitch in and make sure and give me jobs and just help me make this happen. However this was going to happen. How do we keep this thing going when the dollars aren't coming in through the brick and mortar and you can't work? What are you going to do? So having the community rally around me was it was incredible. And then this weekend, oh yes, my friends, I have been wanting to go on a retreat for a very long time. And it's tough because I can't exactly spend $1 million to go on a retreat. So it's kind of tough to find. I know when I went to the Rise conference. That would have been similar to a retreat. That $350, I couldn't even believe that I would have spent that much money on myself, that I was going to pay to stay in a hotel for an entire weekend, that I was leaving for an entire weekend, and just for what? Really? That's what I was saying to myself. For what? What do you think you're going to do? Like, what is going to come of that? And I didn't know, but I felt called, and one of my friends was going, and it was just what happened. And so I've been wanting to go on more retreats for that same thing, this focus, intention of growth. After the beginning half of this year, I think there are definitely some blockages that I needed to work through without question. And the retreat that I went on this weekend changed a little bit because it was going to be a little more out and away, and it ended up being super close to home, which I didn't mind either, quite frankly. I liked that on top of investing in myself, I didn't also have to abandon my children and invest more by having to stay somewhere. So it was actually nice, especially for a first retreat. I think the amount of growth that I had from this retreat makes me realize why that investment is worth it. We were not hindered by coming home at all, but I could see why the getaway is a pretty special part of this, because you can't really tap back into your regular life. And my husband did a great job of making sure there was no responsibility, no tap back in when we came home. So really, we created space to not do that. But I can see why retreats happen across seas. And I don't know, going through this experience definitely makes me feel like, when are we leaving for a retreat in the warmth? When are we doing this? Hopefully it's during the winter, because that's when I like to leave best. That's when I miss the sun. I miss outside. I miss it so much. It's so nice. Vacations during the winter, break it up. Yeah. We need a little vitamin D in there. So I still don't know that I quite have words for what I experienced. But when I had my cards read not that long ago, in the midst of all of my stop pain, struggling, I had my cards read, and she pulled them, and she pulled the first one, and she was like, "You have so much power." Second one, "You know exactly what you need to do." Third one, "It's not going to be the struggle that it was before, so you don't have to fear that." And she's reading this, and I'm like, I know, but I can't help but think that there will be that same struggle. I think about my last kind of build up to this spiritual crossover. It took me probably 6 months of rest and recovery and breathing and yoga and Kundalini yoga and burning a bunch of weird stuff that nobody should burn. Like, Hannah, no one can just throw the recognition cards away. You don't need to burn them. They need to burn. We're burning them. Just throw them away. Can't. Gotta burn it. Just trying to energetically cleanse my space, trying to get everything that I was out so that I could be. And I don't know, it was so much work and intention and daily focus and struggle. And I guess I felt like I was going to have to build up to that again. And this weekend proved to me that it is like riding a bike. Once you've gotten there once, you can get there again, by the way. And I am very grateful that prior to this, I had been journaling in the mornings for about 2 weeks, which is something that fell off after the accident. And quite frankly, something that had fallen off completely since I started local, as far as consistently journaling every day. And so I had picked that back up 2 weeks ago. Once I started waking up when I'm used to waking up at around 3 a.m., once I started waking up, then I could really put intentional time behind my typical morning practice. That includes a lot of self-care, attention, focus. It just does. I don't really have any other way to do it. It's got to happen. I am a better me when that happens, when there is no interruption to that time. So that kind of set the stage for being in a place where that deep introspective thought was already happening. And then to walk into this retreat ready, open, willing, discussing really hard things. Because I think one of the biggest struggles that I'm having right now isn't a normal struggle for me. Because for me, the normal struggle is just the struggle. Like, it's going to be hard work. You're going to hate your life. It's going to be terrible. Blah, 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 blah. Here's the promise of the struggle. Will you work hard? And I'm so used to working hard, fight, grind, repeat, killing myself, making all the sacrifices, and then getting to the other side. Yeah, I made it because I can work hard. And it's not that I don't value that part of me. There has just been this very constant and consistent call for ease. It doesn't have to be hard for you. I'm like, no, we gotta fight, grind and repeat. This is who we are. This is in our blood. This is all we know. And the universe was just kind of saying, know something different, because it ain't you anymore. And I'm looking at the universe going, no, it is. I think you're confused. I think struggle is a part of my story that you don't. And my friend said it best after our retreat kind of wrapped up. We went and got water and nachos. What? Afterwards, so we could just digress and collectively think through some things. And she had said, Hannah, don't you think you've just struggled enough? I mean, you keep saying, like, I need to release and let ease in and let that happen. And you keep saying that it's so easy. And why is it so easy? And I'm a hard worker and blah, 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 which she did not say blah, 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 blah. But it's like, I think you've struggled enough. Like, you've worked hard enough. And maybe it's just time to sort of sit in the harvest of all of that. Maybe that's what this is now. And, you know, I compare it to when I was coaching. Playing volleyball was one of the harder things that I did. And it definitely taught me how to structure myself, how to work hard at something. It was probably the first time that I had ever been successful at that. Someone was like, she's our girl. That's the one. And I was not a superstar by any means, but it is impressive-ish that I had 5 years of volleyball before I started playing in college. And so that journey of the 5 years, and in 5 years to be playing at a high enough level to get a college scholarship to go and play more, is pretty impressive. And then after 2 years, I got another scholarship to go and play 2 more years. And after that, I got to coach. And so it really was about a 7-year journey of kind of mastering that, essentially. And then I go into coaching, and it's like inherently easy. It should not be this easy for a 26-year-old. It should not. And I couldn't help but continue thinking, wow, I I did something my first year most coaches coach their entire life to do and never do. We made it to the state tournament. And then my second year, we played for a state title. Wow, I did something that most coaches never get to do and work their entire coaching careers to do. Wow. And then my third year, we won a state title. Wow, I did something that most coaches never get to do. What an amazing feat. How did I get so lucky? And as I was thinking through at the retreat really deeply, where has ease been? Where have things been easy for me? And how did I sort of let go? I really think the letting go came from my husband's encouragement. Like, hey, you have this. I promise that you can do this. There's no one better to do this. You can do this. And I don't know, that just gave me this boost of like, you're right. And I remember going into that interview and I took my binder and I'm like, this is the offense that we're going to run. And I will return this high school to the legacy of successful volleyball that they have had before. I will return us. In fact, I will do things that have never been done before. And we did. We actually won the first volleyball state title in the Metro that had ever been won before. Actually, I think Cedar Falls won theirs first. So in our there are about 3 big areas in Iowa. And one of them we lived in, and my team won one of the first state titles that had ever been won for this area, for that metro town. And I just always remember thinking, wow, how did I make this all happen? Like, I worked. I know that I showed up. I know that I kind of grinded, but nothing about it seemed that hard. And maybe it was hard when I was in it. And certainly it was more difficult than I'm thinking about right now or recalling. But I loved every second of it. It was the most amazing thing. I couldn't even believe that at 26, someone would have given me this opportunity. And so we did it. We did the dang thing. And I remember being very called to explore something new, that this chapter had ended and it was time to step into this next phase of life. And I had no idea what that meant. And that was the call, really, to go to that conference and better understand how one does things with their life and start to create some of those line in the sand moments that had existed throughout my life. And the only way to do that is really to step out and say, I want something different. I want to invest in myself. I want this experience. Who's with me? And there are just so many amazing guides. And Kelsey, shout out Kelsey, has been such a gifted spiritual guide in my entire journey. She came in right in this moment. She had opened her studio right around the time that I was going through the hard struggles of laying around all day and just doing breath work and not even being able to get out of bed because I was so burnt out and troubled with where my life was. I mean, and you can imagine, right? I had left my corporate job to go change the world, be the entrepreneur of the year overnight. It's going to be amazing. I am so powerful. I am so awesome. I'm going to do it. I'm going to show everybody. Yeah. And I already got a podcast, so it's just a matter of time. And I am reared up and I am ready to go. And it is 3 a.m. and I am recording and it is awesome. And the numbers are going up, but they're only going up because people that I worked with thought that I was going to divulge everything that happened when I left my job, and I never did. And then the numbers went back down. And then all of a sudden I am just completely stuck. I am all of a sudden uncovering that I am empathic, and I'm figuring out that it's okay to feel, and I'm wanting to feel. And then all of a sudden I am feeling everything. And I am overwhelmed by every single feeling that comes into my life. And a friend or someone that I had worked with, she had pointed out that when I'm leaving, especially because this is all new, it's really important that I protect myself. And then I got to start going out into the world. And then I started practicing yoga just to get my head around, like, to attempt to get out of bed, to do anything, because as much as I was energetically releasing all of the corporate demons that had followed me home, I was seeing them in dreams. They were coming up. They were floating above my bed, just waiting for me. Like, yeah, we're going to get you back. Come on. We're going to get you back. Are you ready to come back? We'll take you back. You'll just have to leave your soul here. No, I'm never going to do it. I'm fighting for my soul. And my husband would come home. Hey, what did you do today? Are you going to write your book? Are you going to do anything? Are you moving forward at all? And I would say, I took a nap today. And he would look at me like, this is not the person that I know. This is not the driven, kick butt woman that I married. I don't know who this is right now, but he would always end whatever that discussion with him was. It would always end with, you still sound better than you did. So just keep going. The amount of patience and love and care that year required, I don't know that I will ever be able to pay a human back for that level of sacrifice, care, love, patience, understanding. I don't know how we made it through it. But on the other side of that, eventually I was well rested enough, and eventually with the spiritual guidance from Kelsey and Gray Lane Yoga and all of their yoga sessions, which were not just exercise. It was deeper than that. And the class component, because I had been doing yoga on my own for a very long time. And to go into a class and be able to maintain that ego removed self as I was practicing was really tough and strengthened my practice so very much. And so I think going from that year into the hands of such a gifted teacher and kind of coming out of that, being able to navigate the world as a spiritual being, as an empathic being, and not be dilapidated by it. Not have one person say one thing and then I'm like, I must go sleep for 4 more days. I don't understand. Humans or emotions or life or love. I can't survive this world. Slowly but surely, I built the path back as this empathetic human who could navigate the real world. And it took so much self-love. Shortly after that year, all of a sudden there was this heart unlocking experience. It was the most euphoric feeling that I have ever had come across my body. It's still weird to explain. I did not explain it in real time on the show because I was pretty sure that there was something happened that wasn't supposed to happen. I don't know. But I opened that up, and this weekend, and you should know that the series of books that I will release, even though there is only the yellow one, the next one is green, all related to kind of that chakra opening. And I know that my throat chakra will have its kind of final release when I let go and finish green. It almost seems too simple. And embarrassingly so, because green could be done. And yet here we are. And so once I let go of green and move into blue, I think that'll be the moment. But here's what happened. I was practicing very regularly. I had no job. I was writing books, kind of, and I was just basically wasting a lot of money. And my husband finally came and he said, I love you so much. You're so awesome. I know that you're going to get there. But you're spending all of our money driving to the metro area, and you kind of can't just keep doing that if you're not going to make any money at all. I'm like, oh, dang it. That's such a great point. Okay, I'll look for stuff around here right in town. What can I do? So I start going to different business meetings around here. I realize, oh my gosh, nobody helps us. I'm almost finished with my first book. Nobody helps us. What's going on? Why isn't this better? I'm super curious about all these things. Why isn't business help better? Why do we have to go into metros in order to get any business help? Aren't there enough small businesses around these small areas? How do we fix this problem? And boom, I'm like, I'm going to fix this problem. I'm going to fix this problem. And that became Local. Da, 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 da. And I got to fix so many entrepreneurial problems through that concept, applying the same concept to different sectors of the entrepreneurial world, that all of a sudden it was just a thing. But I had completely abandoned myself. I did not have time because you're nurturing essentially a newborn baby when you open a business. And I stopped doing yoga. I really stopped exercising. I stopped everything that I had built up to completely. I just stopped because I did not have time. I did not have patience. I did not have the ability to breathe. I was too busy to breathe. And I had to stop going to yoga because there was no time. I had an actual job. I had to be somewhere every day. And for such a long time, I hadn't had to. And so none of the times worked for me. And for, I would say the last 3 years, I completely abandoned the fact that my spirit needed attention and love and focus. And so when this retreat came out, I was like, I said this year I wanted to go on a retreat. I know I wrote that somewhere, no idea where, because my house is just full of notebooks of random thoughts of things that I write down. But I do know that I said, I am going on a retreat this year. I have been wanting to go on a retreat. I don't know how I'll have the money for it, but I am going to go. I'm going on a retreat. And at this retreat, there was definitely a moment within the breath circle where I returned to where I had been. And I was reminded that it's not the same journey as last time. You know, you took the training wheels off. You know how this ride goes. And I think about, the transition from high school athlete to college athlete. Well, you already have been practicing this for 5 years. So it is going to be different, right? But you know how it's done. You've done it. And, I think this retreat really put that into perspective for me. You know how it's done. It's not that hard, but it does take some commitment. You can't just want everything to change and then poof, it does, even though you have not changed. And so implementing more of the practices that we had at yoga and reminding myself that it doesn't have to be this struggle. This can just be a joyful part of your day because it's literally saved your life so many times. It's embarrassing that you're not doing it more. It's not, but kind of, right? And I don't know, there was a throat unlocking moment, not like my heart, but definitely I could feel this knock. And I do find it interesting that a lot of the damage and issues came from my neck in the accident. And there's just been so much tension and strife related to this area. When I almost unlocked that, I was like, this is it. And this wasn't hard. And it doesn't have to be hard, because it already was. You already had the hard times of figuring out how to get yourself into that state. It doesn't have to be hard. Ease is your birthright, friend. And that really was a line in the sand moment for me. That was this retreat. I am so thankful that it happened. The people that it happened with, come on! We could not have asked for a better class that just made the most beautiful space for one another. And wow, my mind is forever blown, and I cannot wait to knock out book number 2, which will certainly be another line in the sand moment, and to really bring that work out into the world so that I can get to this next level of rising. And as soon as I sort of launched the first book, I abandoned myself completely. And I think it all just came from I think almost this is too good to be true. And everything happened so easily that it was really hard because I couldn't run from that reality. Oh my gosh, this is all happening so easy. It's so amazing. What the heck? Da da da. Nothing has worked before. Now everything is just working. Wow, this isn't a struggle at all. This seems like something I should follow. This is pretty great. Then I feel like I almost self-sabotage. Like, you know what you need to do to stay on that path. No, I'm too tired. I can't also be this amazing human. That would be too much. That's too much ease. That's too much joy. That's too wonderful. I can't be ease in abundance. It's just not something I've been, and it's not something people will appreciate. And too bad, because I am. And I think most importantly, because there were a couple people in class that I was like, yes, I cannot wait to get there. That, in my mind, is the importance of telling and teaching from this perspective. It's not to sit above you, lord over you. I'm so amazing. You should follow me. I'm so super smart. Listen to me. I've really been doing my breath circles, and I am a changed human being. You should come to my course. It's $1,000 and 29 cents. But today, if you follow the 12 ClickFunnels that convince you to take this class, it is only $1,000.98. You should sign up. I am better than all of you. It's not like that. It's I am where you have been. And I can't deny where I'm at now, because if I keep denying that I have gotten to this level of ease and abundance, if I keep denying that, none of us will get there, right? Like, what a great example of someone who has made it that isn't coming back and saying, I made it, I can help you make it too. I'm like, hey, I made it somewhere. I'm not sure where, but I would love to help you self-navigate. And that's almost what I love most about the things that I get to teach. It's like, you tell me, and then I'll put it into words for you, your words. And then all of a sudden we'll just have this super kick butt guide of where you're going next. And how great would that be? So all of that to say, what was a life-changing moment for you? That's what we're discussing today. I have been blessed to have so many. And this weekend, this retreat, definitely is right up there with some of my favorites. So I'm very excited. And I would say, if you've been questioning, do I do a retreat? Do I spend the money? Do I go to wherever that retreat is? Do I do it? Is it worth it? It is worth it. Book it now. As always, you're smart, you're strong, you're beautiful. What are you going to do? Change the world.